On this episode of the 305 Gridiron, we are having another mock draft, version 3 of the offseason. I know my numbers, trust me. We are talking about who the Miami Dolphins are most closely tied to right now after the free agency period has largely come and gone. At least the first wave of the free agency period has come and gone. So how has that changed things for our Dolphins? We're going to talk about it here in just a minute with mock draft version 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 305 Gridiron, your weekly source for Miami Dolphins information. On today's show, you already heard it, we're doing a mock draft version 3, but today we have a special guest coming to do the mock draft with us so you can get another voice added to the equation. Our former co-host on the Fins Forecast, he's now been doing writing for a variety of different places right now, not doing any content for other people, but I'm sure he's got his own draft board going as he usually does. I would like to welcome to the show Delusional Fins fan, aka we call him Taylor, but welcome to the show, buddy. Come on in.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
The crowd goes crazy.
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
It's been great, dude.
It's really been a hot minute. So much has happened. We have a new quarterback.
We
have a new team.
We got new everything.
Everything. Yeah, everything is new.
A new breath of fresh air, and
which is why the mock drafts are so fun this year, because truthfully, we have no idea where these guys are going to go. We got to the point where we kind of knew Chris Grier well enough that we knew how bad he was going to F it up beforehand. So we could take an educated guess on who he was going to take, and it wasn't going to be a guy we wanted. That's for sure.
No, the main thing was he injured in college? Okay, he's on Chris Grier's board.
Did he play minimal snaps, and was he injured?
Done.
That's our guy.
Was he also an athletic freak in college? Because that will immediately jump him up to the top of the board.
Better if he's coming off of an ACL injury. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Grier would be trading up for Arvell right now. No question. He'd be like, I don't need 10 picks. Let's get up to number 2. We got this. Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So Josh is going to share the draft board. But before we get into the draft, let's talk about how we're going to run this today, fellas. We are going to do a 7-round mock draft. I believe the Dolphins have how many picks? 8, 9?
Something like that.
9.
Something like that. We have 8 or 9 picks that we have to make. We're going to talk about each one. We're going to talk about the potential of a trade up or a trade down at each position that we're at. We're going to talk about our favorite players at the position, and then we're going to have to make a consensus on who we pick, which is going to be harder than it sounds, honestly.
Yes.
We all have very different opinions on who we should take.
Yeah, there were some pre-show, I don't want to say arguments because we weren't there yet, but I could tell there's going to be some debate, especially with this first pick.
Josh and I already see things very differently, and now we're adding a third voice to the mix in Taylor, who also has his own ideas of where the position should go. So pick 11 especially, we're going to have a conversation.
I mean, look, this is why we're doing it. Right? We are doing this for the chaos.
I love the chaos. I'm looking at you, Eli Stowers. You're coming, buddy. Round 2.
Oh, no, he's not. All right.
That's a Daniel pick, though. If Daniel was still here, Eli Stowers would be a Dolphin.
You're right.
I mean, if Anthony was running the shit, Stowers would be a Dolphin.
Yeah.
You should have
seen that. I don't know if draft. He was the best available at the 2nd round, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw on our website, Taylor. We did our V2 mock draft. Anthony had the full reins, full custody, full decision making for rounds 1 and 2, and Stowers was our number 2 pick.
Who was number 1?
Rod McCoy was who ended up falling to us.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to do this, fellas?
You picked the player who got injured last.
I pulled a Chris Grier. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was tough. In that draft in particular, things fell really weird. Like everybody that we've seen mock to us was already gone. And I was like panicking because I'm like, I'm not the draft guy here.
Tight end.
Hey, I did get your guys' boy Jacob Rodriguez. I got Jennings Dunker. Like I got some.
That's all I care about.
I got
Dunker's
Rodriguez
I care about. Just give me Dunker. I don't care how. If we get Dunker, I will log off and go to sleep. That is the pick.
So, Josh, while you bring up the thing, I'm going to talk about the needs that the Miami Dolphins have at this point. Now, we've done a bunch of signings, and if you haven't seen them, head on over to the 305gridiron.com/transactions. That's where we're keeping full track of every transaction that happens, whether it's a restructure of a contract, a signing, a re-signing, a release. They're all up there on the 305gridiron.com/transactions. Now, boys, we've made a lot of transactions over the past 2 weeks, but none of them are ones that I would consider, needle movers. We've signed a lot of depth. We haven't signed a lot of starters. So this draft is going to be very important to determining what type of team we end up putting out on the field this season. So the needs that we have for the team are a lot. But let's just, and no particular order, because I know we all have a different order that these should be in. We have an edge rusher, a cornerback, a safety, interior offensive line. Because we restructured Austin Jackson, we brought him back. That kind of helps fill the tackle. And we've signed a few tackles too.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver, off-ball linebacker, tight end, and then just special teams all around. Although we do have a punter. I expect we'll bring in another punter because we signed a guy just from the UFL. And then we have 2 kickers. So we do have a kicking competition in Miami.
Yeah, and by the way, the punter is like 6'7" or something like that.
Is he really?
The dude is a fucking tree.
That is awesome.
Oh, man. Seth Vernon is the name of the punter, by the way. Yeah.
Yep. It's either the punter or one of the kickers we brought in. It was one of the special teams guys was like 6'7" or something.
Vernon's 6'5". So
yeah, that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
We also had a long snapper, by the way, Tucker Addington. Welcome to the team.
Well, I mean, we're set, guys. We can just screw the draft. Let's roll right into the season. We're good. I think
there's a punter and a long snapper.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I think there are a couple starters that we signed. I think the obvious one being Malik Willis, right?
Yeah.
I think there is a competition in air quotes, but I do think based on what we're paying him and based on the familiarity that this coaching staff has with him and his skill set, I do think that he is probably most likely to be our starting quarterback day one. I think you could probably say Josh Uche is probably a starter at this point. Is he a high-end starter? Questionable. He's got the talent to be, but hasn't put it all together. And then I would say probably one of the wide receivers that we signed. So one of Tutu Atwell and I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Yep, Tolbert.
Yeah, and I think, largely I'd say we didn't add a lot of starters because I don't think we added a lot of guys who would prevent you from drafting that position.
No. Yeah.
Maybe Malik.
You just pretty much got a bunch of guys other than, like you said, Anthony, Malik Willis. Yeah. That's like, you got depth here, or you got something to where, the draft didn't fall this way. All right, we'll just have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of Dolphin fans are talking about like, Sully signed a lot more people than you would think. Maybe the Dolphins can be a little competitive in 2026. I'm not here to rain on your parade. Go full hopium. I just don't see it.
It's going to be tough.
And that's okay. Like, this is a long-term project. It's a full rebuild. Whenever we get into 2027, maybe long-term 2028, and there's no progression, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Over under 5.5 wins on the season. Anthony, I think you're over, right?
Over, yeah.
Yeah. Taylor, where are you? Because I'm under.
I'm probably under. I think this roster is pretty bad overall.
I'm at 6
at this
point.
Yeah.
I think this roster has a chance.
Yeah, I felt bad saying it was bad. I don't want to say that. No, I just think it's filled with a bunch of unproven guys who I really like as like role players.
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. We had to fill like 32 spots, right? Like half this team is coming back, and not to mention half of our cap is going towards dead money because we wanted to try to eat as much as possible. So the realism of being a Dolphins fan right now is that this team is down to this. We are officially down to the studs. We had to put butts in the seats because we needed to fill a roster. It's not spectacular, but there are some foundational pieces, and some of the players that were signed could stick around. Probably not key starters. I hope not. But foundational pieces, rotational players, quality level starters. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know we want to get into the draft, but one thing I found interesting about the people we signed is we signed a lot of players from Florida, from Miami specifically. And I think that plays into Sully and Half when they talked about wanting guys who want to be there and who want to play football, have a love for the game, have a love for the team. I mean, Marco Wilson, I think his last name was. Yeah, Marco Wilson is a Dolphins fan growing up. He has a picture of himself in a Merino jersey.
Sitting on a staircase. Yep.
So I think that it's really cool. They're just kind of living up to what they've said they wanted in the first place.
And that's the one great thing about this team, about this front office, I should say. And I'll be curious to hear your thoughts, Taylor, on this. But like when Greer and McDaniel just most recently would say things, I would always take it with a half grain of salt because I'm like, okay, sure. It seems like this Sully and Half, from day one, they've been in lockstep. From day one, what they've said seems to be starting to play out. We want to get bigger at certain positions. We want to get faster at certain positions. We want to get a more competent quarterback in now that Tua is not in the picture. We want to, build through the draft. We want to draft and develop and sign our own guy. Like all of it was very like, oh, that's new. I don't know if this coaching staff is just kind of playing our heartstrings or if they really mean it. And they've followed through with everything so far. It's like a breath of fresh air, it really is.
Yeah, not to take a trip fully back down memory lane, but I think what really does help is Halfley and Sully were hired at the same time. They have a familiarity with each other, to whereas you go back to like Mike McDaniel getting hired, and I'm not trying to sit here and go like, oh, there was no good times under Mike McDaniel. Scored 70 points, had a great 2023 season. 2022 should have beat the Bills in the playoffs. You were so close with a backup quarterback. There were some good times, but at the end of the day, you look back to the beginning of that tenure. Not only do you have Chris Greer still as the GM, but, we're going to build this thing up. We're going to fix Tua Tagovailoa. What do? We're just going to kind of cripple our draft capital over the next few years, trade for Tyreek Hill, and then you're going to have the Stephen Ross, Brian Flores thing go down. And that created another issue. So, yeah, I think the familiarity really does help between this new front office here.
So now let's try to pretend that we know what they're going to do in the draft. What do you say we get into it?
All right. So real quick, before we start, do we want to modify these sliders at all? So care for positional value, draft for needs, or randomness? Right now, randomness is really low. Care for positional value is kind of just below mid, and then draft for needs is kind of where it defaults at.
I like where randomness is. I would probably lower draft for need a little bit.
Yeah, but a little bit closer to the middle of the pack. I think that's good. These
are good sliders. We're good with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready, boys?
Let's see who goes before us.
The
top 10.
The
top 10. Who do you guys think number one's going to be? Oh, Mendoza.
Ruben Bain.
Did the Browns just say Jeremiah Love?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So 1 overall is Fernando Mendoza. 2 is Ruben Bain. 3 is Sonny Styles. 4, David Bailey. The Giants get Arvell Reese. The Browns get Jeremiah Love. Washington gets Caleb Downs. The Saints, Delane. Oh, Christ. That sucks. Ball safeties are gone. Kansas City gets our collective, well, not collective, but some of our safety number 1 and Dylan Thieneman. And then the tackle out of Miami, Francis Mayo. How do you pronounce his last name? I never get it right.
Maui Noah
goes to protect Joey B. We are on the clock, fellas. Availability.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to take a receiver here. I don't really know much about him. Spencer Fano, we have taken once before in a mock draft. Not on the site, though. Monroe Freeling, I feel like it's climbing very quickly. So,
just curious, did you say Jordan Tyson, or is all 3 wide receivers here?
No, all 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, all 3. Tate is here.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Tate, Lemon, and Tyson is down here.
A month ago, I would have loved this.
Because I would have taken Tate. Yeah.
I'd still consider it. I honestly would.
I know, just because the way it fell.
Yeah.
Like Thieneman and Delane. I really like Delane, especially because I believe he does have connections to Halfley in the past. But He's a fantastic physical corner, and Thieneman, I was very surprised. I love Caleb Downs, but him and Thieneman are like neck and neck for safety one to me, and I think they're two of the best prospects in this whole class. So seeing them go in the last 3 picks, and then you had Maui Noah, that's tough.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know about you, but I see Fano more as a guard than a tackle. So
I do too.
Monroe Freeling, I think, is on some boards tackle 1, on other boards is tackle 2. Because Fano is seen, I think, collectively by the majority of national media as probably better suited to shift in at guard, which means he's probably playing right guard, which is a position of need for us. Because he was primarily a right tackle in college. So what are the initial thoughts? Are we?
I think in this situation, I'd be calling the Rams and see if they want to move up for a receiver. They got, Devontae Adams is coming back this year. He's 34 years old. Mm-hmm. They do have Puka on the outside, which is fantastic. But outside of that, they just lost 2-2 to us, of course. And Carnell Tate sitting there at 11. I'd be very interested to see if they'd be willing to move up those 2 spots to grab him. So that I don't know that the Cowboys are a threat, but the Cowboys could certainly trade out of that spot.
So what do
you guys think of Jermard McCoy as well?
Yeah, I really like him as well. I think corner is obviously a huge need, and this guy, if he didn't get injured, would easily be the number 1 corner off the board, probably in the top 5.
Yeah, my only fear is he's coming off a nasty ACL, off his off of his dominant foot, which terrifies me. Because I think, to Anthony's point, McCoy, had he not been injured, would be CB1 by a long shot. Because he's got the height and the speed and the technical ability, and he still very well could be. He's still very young. So healing from an injury like an ACL is more plausible the younger you are. So having dealt with it myself, happened, in my mid-teens, I recovered very quickly as a soccer player. So definitely an option. And I'll throw this out there. I know, Anthony, you'll probably vomit on camera when I say this out loud. But Vega, there are better options with how this board fell. But if the board fell not in our favor in real time, and we ended up taking who I have as the offensive lineman 1 on my top 100, getting him, solidifying the offensive line, filling in that spot at right guard, because that's what he played in college. Never let up a sack. The dude is an anchor. Not really good at run blocking, but a phenomenal, probably the best pass blocker in this draft. Wouldn't be a bad option as well. But there's so much more. There's so many better options on the board right now.
Yeah, that's the main thing to me. I really like Fano as well. Award winner, kind of a Mahler mentality. I think he is going to move into guard, but it's not because he can't play tackle. He could easily play tackle, I think, at the next level. I just think a lot of his pros scream just move him to guard. That's what he does well anyways.
And he's a big boy. So putting him, if we were to draft him and move him to right guard, putting him next to AJ, and then have the ability, once AJ gets injured, because we all know he will, to be able to shift out. Right. I think it makes a lot of sense, which is why I understand why he's mocked to us a lot. But let's make a decision, guys. In real time, we only have the Dolphins only have a handful of minutes to make a decision. So where are we feeling? What are you guys feeling?
My argument here, this isn't necessarily what I would do overall. So people in the comments, I'm sorry ahead of time, because this is not going to be necessarily a top position I need. But when you look at best player available, right? Who, go BPA, you need to get talent on this roster. We'll figure it out. We're probably not going to be good next year, that kind of thing. You just need to accumulate talent. I think it's either Carnell, Tate, or Jordan Tyson. And considering the injuries and the draft process, it hasn't been great for Jordan Tyson because of the injuries. I'd really think about going Carnell Tate here, because I think he's the best player on the board.
And Tate, for me, I'll just chime in on that, because that's who I was going to pick. That was my initial gut. I like the tackles on the board, but I feel decently okay about our offensive line under some of the assumptions that I've made. I do not feel so good about our wide receiver core, because outside of Jalen Waddle, we have a bunch of really good, I mean, a moderately okay supporting staff, right? We have a decent wide receiver, a fast guy in Tutu Atwell, who's just really good at burning people, but really not good at those intermediate routes across the middle of the field. You have the Tolbert, who showed out really well early on and then got stashed behind a Dallas wide receiver room that had George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. So we don't really know. If we were going into the season tomorrow, wide receiver is one of my key worries about this team because we have a lot of unknowns. And Carnell Tate's 6'3", he's fast, he's productive in college at the big stage, or on the big stage rather. Not a lot of yard production in college, but you have to remember what team he was on. I mean, they had 5 wide receivers that could be drafted in the first 2 rounds. So the ball needed to be spread around, including running backs, but was phenomenal last year. So this would probably be my pick based on how this board fell. If there was if Thieneman or Delaney were still there, I would probably take them over Carnell Tate. But
yeah,
what about you, Anthony?
Yeah, I think if they're staying true to their inside-out build approach, they're going to do whatever they can to move down with the Rams and entice the Rams to come take Tate at 11. Because there's Fano, Freeling, and Vega both all 3 are on the board. Still, you're going to get one of them at 13. So I think that they'd probably be jamming that phone to try to get them to move up.
And what does a trade like that look like? Right. So
I don't think it's much. Maybe a third, maybe a fourth. Let's throw to us. Yeah.
Who'd you say? The Chargers? No, LA Rams, right?
Yeah.
Rams. All right. So they have 13, 61, 93, 206. So if we did 11 and 13, you think we get 90?
They'd probably want I don't know if 93 would be enough. That's a late third, end of the third round. I think Miami might want 61 there, but maybe they would do 61 and swap for 75, 87, or 90. Just to get another pick in the second. Okay. I think it's something like that. I don't think it's a ton. I think maybe it's a swap, like a move up into the second from the third, or maybe an extra third or an extra fourth.
I mean, do we want to push this trade, or do we want to draft true? I mean, that's a decision we need to make.
I'm just talking in what's likely going to happen in that war room, right? I'm perfectly fine with taking Tate here as well. I think that's, like you said, the receiver room is nothing right now. Especially if somebody comes calling for Waddle near the trade deadline, I think that he would be gone. So I'm okay with taking Tate, or I'm okay with exploring his trade here.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's a great point, though, Anthony. We're talking about, like, this does kind of fly in the face of everything that Hafley and Sullivan have said, but it's kind of the nature of the draft, too. If you say you're going to go best player available, and this is what it falls like, who's the best player available for you? And for me, and it seems like for both of you, Carnell Tate is probably that guy.
All right, so the Rams just hung up on us because we took too long. So we are drafting at 11.
Yeah, I think it's more important just to talk about the possibilities than actually making the trade.
I know.
But yeah, I very much think that they could have Tate and 1 or 2 of these linemen in the same bracket, and they'd be okay with trying to move down.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think they'll move very far, though.
No, especially, I mean, look, let's be honest, right? Wide receiver, offensive line, kind of 2 of our big top 4 needs, right?
Yeah.
We have 1, 2, 3 wide receivers, 1, 2, 3 offensive linemen. So, I mean, we could move down up to 6 spots and still be able to get somebody that is high on our draft board. So I agree 100%.
You still get McCoy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Sitting there too.
Exactly. Right. And that's not even talking about, some of the defensive end talent that's still available. So I could definitely see us making phone calls, but for this exercise.
If the board fell this way, I think there's people calling both for a tackle or a wide receiver. I think Tate would be getting calls, and I think one of these 2 tackles would be getting calls. Yeah.
Agreed. So are we going to do a trade, or are we taking
Tate right here? But just know that there's a high trade potential if that scenario fell that way.
Excellent. Do we want to go back and look at who was drafted, or just talk about who's on the board?
Let's just talk about who's on the board.
Oh, the fucking Saints.
Rodriguez goes a pick before us.
Yeah.
So let's revisit the needs, right?
Cool.
We said edge, corner, safety, offensive line, wide receiver, which we just took Carnell Tate, so that kind of fills that gap. Linebacker, tight end, and special teams players we'll talk about towards the end of the draft. So with the way the board fell, things we have done prior in previous mock drafts, we've taken Ty Simpson in the previous mock draft. We've taken D'Angelo Pons in the previous mock draft. Ty Simpson was before we had Malik Willis. I don't know if they would consider that anymore.
Probably not. It's still too early. Although if Ty Simpson's on the board, we are definitely listening to phone calls.
The way this fell right now, I think our Mason Thomas is probably my favorite at where we landed.
For edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's let me see. I forgot how tall Brandon. He's 6 foot. So I don't know. For me, it's let's see who else is there. How many? Oh, you sure you don't want Stowers? That's your guy.
I love me some Eli. If we could trade down, I'll take him.
Yeah, I think right here, and I'll be curious to hear your thoughts, Taylor. But like our Mason Thompson or Pons probably are probably what I'm deciding between. I know Pons is on the smaller side, and we laugh about, hey, Miami Dolphins, let's get the small fast guys. But watching Pons in the national championship just decimate people and just take their soul. Even I don't care. I mean, he was playing like he was 6'9".
He's a pest. It's what he is. Like track and field background. He started his career over at James Madison with Kurt Sidnetti, and then he followed him over to Indiana. And he's just basically been doing this his entire career, just annoying the hell out of wide receivers.
Yeah,
and that pick 6 against Oregon, I think, in the playoffs.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I think I'm leaning a little bit more. I'm like 51-49 leaning towards Thomas, just because our edge position is terrifying me.
So I really like Pons, but I want to make the case here because what kind of like worries me a bit about Pons is he's a nickel corner. Like he's going to move inside. He's 5'9". Like I would love for him to play outside. I just don't see it happening. So I would like to take a look at Brandon Cisse.
Sissy? Yeah, you got it. I'm just kidding.
From South Carolina.
What a sissy.
He started at NC State, played all season as a true freshman, wouldn't become a starter until his sophomore year. I think he's an exceptional athlete. He could really track the ball. He plays physical. I think you can move him in various spots, which from what we saw in Green Bay, that's something Halfley likes to do with people in the secondary. This secondary isn't good. Like it needs starters across the board, period.
Period.
That's an understatement of a lifetime right there.
So honestly, maybe you do go Pons because I have a first round grade on him. Like we do need a nickel corner. Maybe you go AJ Halsey, a guy who had 24 tackles a few years ago playing against New Mexico State or something like that. And he's just a physical corner or not corner, a physical safety who sets the tone and hits people hard. So I don't think you can go wrong anybody in the secondary here.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about Brandon is he seems like he's more of a run defender. Like he's better in run support than he is in coverage based on his college tape. And that's what I saw on film. I mean, admittedly, I didn't watch a ton of his film. I think I watched the LSU game and the what was it? The A&M. So that's why I watched 2 of his worst games, not on purpose. But 6 foot, so definitely fits the mold. Taylor, what are your thoughts on R. Mason Thompson? I mean, pass rush grade in the 90s in college, which is bananas. Obviously suffers as a run defender, but with our interior defensive line, that's okay to me. True pass rush set grade is above 85, which is spectacular. What are your thoughts on R. Mason Thompson? 6'2", 249, is a senior, so he's mature.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen a whole lot of film on Thomas, but he is somebody that, from what I have seen from him at Oklahoma and during that playoff run, just a very experienced, solid player, one of the best players on that defense. Gabe Jacas from Illinois. I don't know if he's still available, but that's somebody that you look at the rest. Yeah, he's right there. You talk about like what the Dolphins have. Chop Robinson, they go get Josh Uche, speedier guys, more finesse guys. He's Gabe Jackass is just very power heavy. He's a power rusher, very good at setting the edge in the running game. Just a complete opposite of what we currently have. The only unfortunate thing is I don't think he's very athletic.
Yeah.
He's not going to beat you a bunch with speed or anything like that. But
no, and my concern is, once he gets to the league, he's going to be going up against quite a lot of quote unquote first round talent. And I don't know if his power, if you will, translate, because he's not an athletic freak. I'm honestly leaning towards R. Mason Thompson here just because of the state of our edge room. But what do you guys think? I mean, we need to make a decision.
I think it's largely between Pons and Thomas at this point. And I think this is the nature of what happens when you go with a position like wide receiver in the first round. Now we're kind of grasping for two, I think, positions that are probably stronger needs.
Well, and they're both
This is a strong part of the draft, though.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, so
I really like D'Angelo Pons. Really like him. His size does worry me a little bit, and if we walk out without an edge rusher in the first 2 rounds, I'll be a little disappointed. Not gonna lie, because I feel like you have nothing if you don't have some edge rushers, and right now we don't have any edge rushers that are impact players.
So are we our consensus being R. Mason Thompson here, or R. Mason? Yeah, Thomas.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I keep wanting to put a P in his last name.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got your edge rusher, Anthony.
Sweet.
Also, because I like the corners and safeties in the third as well.
That should be a lawyer, maybe.
Sold. Oh, damn. Look who fell. That's a good pick.
There's nothing wrong with doubling down there, buddy. All right. So we took Carnell, Tate at 11, R. Mason Thomas at 43. That fills 2 big needs. Just so happened that the board fell in a way that we were able to draft for need. We still have the secondary. Defensive secondary is a mess still. Offensive line could use some help, but it's not as much of a mess as the secondary. Let's take a look at, the top 15 here, Josh, and see if anybody pops out to you guys.
Yeah, so Zachariah Branch, but we don't need it. We just took a wide receiver. Max Clare at tight end, who's kind of more of a receiving tight end, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I lied.
Can you head on over to the interior offensive line and corner?
Yeah, let's look. You know what? Let's just go down the list here. So Connor Liu is a center. He's exclusively played center in college, so I don't necessarily know if that would make sense. Kamari Ramsey is somebody I really like at the safety position. At this point in the draft, I wouldn't take him in the first 2 rounds, but it's appropriate value. Chandler Rivers is a cornerback from Duke, not a massive school, not a big stature guy, but with some serious college production. The same can be said for Devin Moore, somebody that I've been coming around to lately. This guy has got height. He's 6'3", 198. Progressed in college. Last year had an 83 overall grade, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, which is great. Over the course of his career, he had 5 defensive touchdowns with a coverage grade of 81, and he's good. So coverage grade of 81, run defense grade of 81. So really good in kind of all phases as a cornerback, as a big cornerback. Anthony Hill Jr. is a linebacker out of Texas who everyone's kind of high on. I like Jalen Farmer, the guard out of Kentucky. He's available. That's it, guys. And don't forget, we have 75, 87, and 90 in the 3rd round.
Yeah, we have a lot more picks here. So throw out your favorite and we'll make a consensus.
So
my favorite, by the way, is linebacker Kyle Lewis there. I think him and Clark at the Senior Bowl were absolutely dominant. He put on a show. He showed that he could play against, a talent from bigger teams and stuff like that. So I know it's not our biggest need, but if I see Lewis there at this pick, I am really chomping at the bit.
Yeah,
I'm Rutledge from Georgia Tech still there. Interior.
No,
he went 2 picks.
He went 2 picks ahead of us. That would have been. I would have just picked him without asking, if I'm being honest. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's definitely what took him. Yeah, man, I think Lewis is a really good pick here. I do think off-ball linebacker is a sneakily position of need for the Dolphins. I know you still have Dotson. You got Brooks. Brooks on the last year of his deal. Dotson on the last year of his deal. But when you look at Jeff Hafley and what he's done with linebackers in the past, Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker over in Green Bay, it's something where I think Hafley's going to want to try to build over the next few years in Miami. Whether that be also re-signing Brooks. I still don't think that takes Kyle Lewis out of the equation.
No, I think Brooks is definitely going to be re-signed, but that's one linebacker, and we run I think Half runs a 3-4, right? So 3 down linemen.
He mixes it up, but their signings have been pointing towards a 3-4.
Yeah. So I actually really like Kyle Lewis. I'm okay taking him here. I think this is appropriate value in my opinion. Are we go
and
with
also
that?
keep in mind the Dolphins will have a little bit of money post June 1st. There are a few corners.
Yeah.
There are a few corners in free agency. L'Jarius Sneed just got cut from Tennessee.
Yep.
Maybe, he doesn't get paid as much as people would think, and Dolphins can go after him maybe for a deal.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's the one concern.
Are we go with Kyle Lewis here at 75, and we can circle back at our 2 picks?
Yeah, we're only 12 picks from the next one. So
yeah. Are we good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right.
Yep.
Kyle Lewis is I really like how this draft is falling out for us, guys. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think we've landed Kyle Lewis in any of our drafts that we've done so far. Drew Alar went in the 3rd. Look at that. Rising
Well,
up.
that makes sense. But Devin Moore's still here. I'm going to bang the table for Devin Moore. That's the cornerback that I was talking about earlier.
He fits Hafley's.
Yeah, he's 6'3".
What we're seeing in that secondary right now is a bunch of 6 foot, 6'1" or taller guys.
Yep.
And it's just that's why I was kind of not going for Ponds as much. It just feels very anti-Hafley for what he's building over there right now.
He's 6'3", this guy?
Yeah, 6'3", 198. And look at his coverage grade in college, 81.5. His run defense grade is 81.8. His man coverage, 72. His zone coverage is 70. This dude is a pillar of consistency.
My only beef is that he played 7 and 8 games those 2 years. Did he get hurt? Is he injury risk?
Yep.
Yeah.
Downside.
I mean, I don't have anything against it. We're in the middle of the 3rd round. It is what it is. These guys have flaws.
The other guy I would like, I know his production is kind of meh, but Jalen, I liked his film. I think this is probably a little early, if I'm being honest, to take him, but something to think about. He is exclusively a right guard. Not huge college production, but just something to think about. Let's see. LT Overton.
I'm okay with the corner. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts there, Taylor?
Overton in 2024 was excellent. He did regress a bit in 2025. 2024, I thought he was a potential 1st round pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's but his combine was not good, bro.
Yeah. Anthony Hill, I haven't been very high on during the entire draft process. And of course, we just drafted Kyle Lewis, so that kind of takes him out there.
And we pick, don't forget, we pick in a couple picks here because we pick at 90.
I think this has got to be secondary, regardless. It's got to be corner or safety. Devin Moore, like you said, he does fit the mold, and I think you can move him around a bit.
Yeah, so my hope here would be to get the cornerback Devin Moore and then circle back to maybe Genesis Smith with 90, right? But you guys tell me. I've spoken up enough. I'm not trying to sway the court here. So
I think Devin Moore's a good pick here. I mean, the player's not as important as the position. I think at this point, if we still don't have a corner, we have to seriously consider.
Okay, so Devin Moore was the choice. Anthony Hill and Connor Liu went right after. We are back on the clock at pick 90. Jake Slaughter from Florida did he just play center? Yeah,
he just played center.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. This is a tough conversation. I would love to re-sign Aaron Brewer, but he's going to be, 30 by the time you re-sign him? You just saw that Linderbaum contract with the Raiders. Are you going to re-sign Brewer to that?
That's a fucking good point.
Even if we do re-sign him, will it be more than 3 years,
Yeah.
And it's not a bad idea to have a guy waiting in the wings who could potentially play guard. They could try him at guard if they're like, this doesn't work. Then he just.
Well, and Brewer played guard too. Don't forget. I mean, I know he's a top 3 center. In my opinion, he's a top 3 center.
And I think sneakily, the goal of what we've been doing so far in this mock draft is, we've went to some positions of need in the middle, but we've kind of been, who's the best player?
Yeah.
For this team. Okay, let's get it.
Well, let me ask you guys a question, right? So we have made a splash in free agency at the quarterback position. Sully and Half on multiple occasions, both together and separately in media, has come out and said, we are going to take a quarterback every year or every other year until we have a top 5 quarterback, because you have to have a top end quarterback to win in this league. Is this the point at the end of the with our last 3rd round pick where we might consider a Garrett Nussmeier or a Drew Aller who already was taken by Pittsburgh a couple picks ahead? Or do we wait and get more of a project guy kind of in round 6 or 7?
I'll let Taylor go first on this one.
If Aller was available here, I honestly could see it, because I kind of put Aller in that project. He's kind of in between, because he progressed over the years, but last year it was just a wash because he broke his ankle. So it was just one of those things where he never became the guy that a lot of people thought he could be. So I would have thought about taking Aller potentially if we're going for like a project quarterback. But sitting where we're at right now, I wouldn't worry. But you do have Malik Willis. I get why you would take a quarterback every year, every other year. But I just think this will be a reach at this point.
And also Malachi Fields is still here. The tackle from Miami, Markel Bell, is still there.
Yeah, I think at quarterback, I don't think Nussmeier. I mean, if they're looking for size, and I know that Malik doesn't necessarily have size either, but I could see them way better chance of them taking a shot on a guy like Taylen Green late than
Agreed.
using a 3rd rounder. It's just we have so many holes. Like if we didn't have as many holes as we have, I could see it. Like, oh yeah, let's give Garrett a shot. But
and even if you were doing the thing that we're doing right now, we're okay, let's just go best player available, but we also kind of steer towards the positions in need.
Yeah.
It still doesn't fit for me. And like you said, Anthony, you go get somebody like Taylen Green in the late part of this draft, hope he makes it. And if not, hey.
Or was it Palmer, the guy out of North Dakota? North Dakota State.
Cole Payton.
Cole Payton, yeah. I really like Cole Payton late round 2. All right, so let's review our picks so far while you guys digest what move we're going into. So round 1, pick 11, Tate fell to us. We jumped on him, 6'3" wide receiver, really, really good add to this team as a wide receiver 1. I think he instantly steps in as wide receiver 1. R. Mason Thompson at edge in round 2 at pick 43. Kyle Lewis, the coverage linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Thomas, thank you.
Why do you want to change this guy's name so bad?
No, I don't know. I'm going to get a jersey and just write in a P. All right. R. Mason Thomas in round 2, pick 43 at edge. Kyle Lewis, the coverage linebacker out of Pittsburgh, our first pick in round 3, pick 75. Sure. And then we circled back and selected the 6'3" cornerback out of Florida, Devin Moore, with our second pick in the 3rd round at pick 87. So where are we going, fellas?
I mean, I'm seriously taking a strong look at Slaughter here. I don't know if he'll play center or if he'll play guard, but we need interior offensive linemen. He's got a lot of snaps under his belt, and I love that. You know me, one of my big things about college prospects was a lot of playing time. He's over 30 games. That's like the threshold I think that Parcells had back in the day, was 30 game starters or something like that. And I mean, nothing else here from what I see. I think we took Overton in another mock draft, but we already got our edge rusher this time. So I tend to lean towards Slaughter. I don't Slaughter on this one.
Logan it's Jones. Also not completely abnormal. Look at what the Patriots did last year with Jared Wilson from Georgia. He was their center at Georgia. I don't think he played a lick of guard. He was their starting left guard with the Patriots all year, and now he's going to play center in 2026.
Yes. So, all right. So let me throw just a random name, not a random name, somebody that I really like in this hat. So
a random name I really like.
I really like one that I'm wink, wink, nudge, nudge throwing in the hat at random for this conversation.
It's not random. We've seen you mock draft Genesis Smith to us like 40 times, bro.
So I just pulled a name out of the hat at random, fellas. All right. So let's just talk about this guy I know nothing about is it Arizona, I think? Genesis Smith, the safety.
I'll have to look at it.
He's going to do jack shit in the run game at a safety, but he is the last line of defense type coverage safety that good teams have. He is 6'2", 204, so he's got size. He can withstand the pressure. He's fast. He played kind of all over the place, right? In box, deep safety, slot. He played some on the defensive line.
What?
Yeah, again,
36 snaps last year at D-line.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's 2024. Yeah.
You know
But
what I meant.
yeah, so he's got versatility. He's a big dude. Just a name to throw out there. I'm not saying we have to take him. He'll be gone before we pick again, unless we get super lucky. If we wanted to address the safety position now, I think after Genesis Smith, this is probably where the decent players, maybe Wheatley is there, but after that,
Wheatley I really like.
Yeah, but after
and
that,
my issue with Genesis Smith is he is not a good tackler. He's not my style of player either.
I mean, yeah.
Wheatley is. He is somebody who does like to hit. So
18 missed tackles last year for Genesis Smith, 15 the year before.
Ooh.
Not great, right?
Damn.
Now, that could mean he was on an Arizona team, that was devoid of talent, if I'm being polite. But that's not an excuse.
A nearly 20% missed tackle rate is pretty nuts. So.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the end of the third round, so I get it. But
I mean, Zeke didn't do much better.
11.5, yeah.
Yeah. So, but better grades and better overall in the run, like vastly better in the run.
And I'm okay with going safety here. I don't care which one, but we desperately need safety help, and adding another center to potentially play guard isn't as strong as a need.
Well, here's the thing, guys. So we can take the lower player in safety, or we can get the better overall by ADP, if you will, player in Slaughter. So do we take? They're both positions of needs at different levels. I think safety is probably more than a backup center.
Oh, by a long shot, not even close. But
you know what I mean? So
I see what you're saying. Like, do we continue doing what we kind of done this entire mock draft, or do we finally go, hey, we got to take a position need, we got to eat our vegetables?
Which gets dangerous. Like, let's be honest. Like, forcing positions of needs for a rebuilding team is where you're bypassing the quote unquote consensus better player to take a position of need is a dangerous proposition.
Well, do you guys think he's the better player? I don't give an ass hat's worth of care who a bunch of randoms ADP is for this player.
No, but that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
do you guys think that Slaughter is the better player than the other two?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched any film on him because center was never on my radar.
Fair.
So I have to defer to Taylor probably, because I don't think you watched any on him, Slaughter, Anthony. Pretty sure.
I do think Slaughter is a better player or a better prospect than these two.
Does he fit their height and weight? Yeah, he does. 6'4", 303. Yeah. So the problem with that is, what's his athletic profile on? Let's see something. Would you say, Taylor, have you watched film on him?
A little bit.
Is he
a little bit of a Slaughter?
How does he do in space? Right? Because if we bring him in and he's unathletic, but he can anchor, then he's strictly a backup center with zero possibility of shifting over to the right at playing guard. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just trying to see, because the one thing we do know about this new regime, is that they expect versatility in offensive linemen. That's what I know. That's kind of, hey, it'd be great. But that Sully and Half have both come out and said it on a few occasions, where we want offensive linemen that are able to play multiple positions. So you make the final decision, Taylor. Do we go Slaughter or do we go
this guy? Sorry, I just went and had to look him up, and it's the guy that looks like he should be teaching history.
It's like he does not fit the name at all. No, I was just looking up his athletic profile, seeing where he came in percentile wise. He comes in around the 80s to 90th percentile.
Okay.
In a lot of his categories.
All right. So then why don't we do this? Why don't we take Slaughter
out the combine?
Yeah,
we've analyzed this way too much at this point.
So let's take Slaughter here and hope that a safety falls. How's that?
Agreed. What pick is this? 90?
Yeah. So our next pick after this is 111. So we have.
This has already gone off the rails. We didn't really necessarily address the secondary at all. So
that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man.
We got Devin Moore.
We got Devin Moore, yeah.
You know what?
The reality is we're not going to be able to address every need this team has.
Oh, no. It's like we're talking about at the beginning of this episode. Like, this team probably isn't going to be very good next year.
All right, timeout, guys.
Kind of holes.
We need to make a pick. So are we taking
Slaughter.
Zeke or are we taking Slaughter? We're taking Slaughter. Okay.
Yeah.
We already decided.
Perfect.
Where you been?
Hoping
the
that we
history
would take
teacher.
hoping we would take a safety.
Well, we took the history teacher instead. So what about that?
Hey, look who's
And we
there.
take Wheatley.
Now you could take Wheatley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got
Not
two secondary guys.
Perfect. And we don't need to talk about them because we already did.
That worked out perfectly.
That worked out phenomenally.
Yeah, I think
You
that
got an offensive
Sully would
lineman
be
that you
jumping
could
up.
try out at guard, or I wouldn't put Brewer at guard because he's an all-pro center. And you kind of just sit there like, hey, do we pay Brewer? Do we try Slaughter out at guard? Maybe he succeeds, or maybe you end up moving Slaughter.
Well, I think
into
if we can
job.
if we can get Brewer for not what's his face's money, I think there's a conversation.
Linderbaum.
Yeah. Because Linderbaum was 50% over the highest paid center from
I don't
last
think
season.
anybody's getting Linderbaum money.
No, that was the Raiders doing the Raiders thing. All right, so let's review our picks. So I'm not going to go over them much, but we got Carnell Tate at wide receiver. So we have a wide receiver, we have an edge and R. Mason Thomas.
We got it.
Nailed it. We have a linebacker in Kyle Lewis, Devin Moore at cornerback, Slaughter at center / guard maybe, and Zeke Wheatley, who we all kind of really like. At safety out of Penn.
We took back-to-back Florida Gators there. How about that? Wow.
Yeah.
Jason Marshall Jr. is going to be happy.
And they're from Florida, so they're familiar with the weather. All right, so where do we go here? We
GPA? What are we in, round 5, 6? Round 5?
Yep. Round 5, pick 11 in round 5.
So we've gotten at least one player at every position of need except for tight end and special teams. This is actually the sweet spot for where you start getting special teams guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can assess who's going to be a good special teams player. So you just want to look for gamers, I think.
Yeah, I'm just looking through real quick, seeing if anyone pops for me. Probably Royer, tight end from Cincinnati.
Royer was the first thing that popped up.
Yeah, Prysock, cornerback out of Washington. I really like in this kind of range. Capehart. What are your?
We cannot draft a defensive tackle. We drafted a center. We cannot draft a defensive tackle too. We have 7 of them on the roster. Josh.
Interesting spot for Klubnik here, I think.
Yeah, Klubnik's also an option. Yep, or Jeremiah Wright, the guard out of Auburn. Ooh, never mind. Just kidding.
I knew you were.
I think if you're drafting a quarterback though for the Dolphins, you're drafting somebody who is a project high upside guy. And where I see Klubnik is just a QB2. There's nothing wrong with that, to be fair, in the NFL, but
yeah, even I know you and Josh worked a little bit on this big board together, but even your guys' comparison was Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Not really that exciting, but it is the 5th round.
Was it Singleton? What's your thoughts on Singleton? Because he had a hell of a year in 2024 and then kind of fell off the wagon.
I like Katron Allen more.
Yeah.
So we need another running back though.
Well, again,
Marshall
these are like
good. I mean, we need like 8 corners at this point. So
Josh has suggested a defensive tackle and a running back. You're just wanting this whole thing to go off the rails.
Yeah, what's he doing over here? 89.8 this year. Why is he so low on the? What's wrong with this guy, Tate?
I honestly have not seen Devin Marshall yet. I'm making my way through the corners and safeties.
There
right
you go.
now.
5'11". 5'11", 200 pounds though, so he's got some stock. He's stocky. He's a stocky.
Over 30 games played. He's got a good year last year. I like just taking a shot on him here. 5th round pick.
We go with that.
Get some depth.
5'11" is a little anti what we've seen from this room, but I'm good with it.
Boom. All right, done.
Welcome to the squad, Devin. You have 0 chance that our actual
plus it's corner depth. And we added some
he's our new gunner. That's what he is.
That's what we were just talking about, special teams, right?
Yep, there you go.
Feels like he could be a gunner. We don't have a 6th round pick, guys. So that's why we're seeing so many picks go off the board here. We have one 7th round pick
to our last pick in the draft.
Pick 227.
This is where we might
Mr. Irrelevant.
This is where we might want to look at backup quarterback or project quarterback rather. Let's see who's available. All of the ones, Taylen Green, Cole Payton.
Your typical project quarterbacks. Yeah. So who's your favorite project? I guess is the question.
It's Green.
See, I don't know. I guess.
My issue with Peyton, I want to make sure this is right before I completely bury it. I don't think he's thrown the ball over 25 plus times a game consistently in his career. And he's mostly been like a wildcat kind of quarterback up until this past season.
Look at his grades, though.
Your grades are going to be terrific, though, when you only threw for 289 in year 1 and 125 in year 2.
I mean, completions. So he attempted, right? I mean, 226 on the entire year this year.
226 over 13 is 17 passes a game.
Yeah.
Not great.
Not great. Right.
You got the Goatmeyer sitting out there still. One of the most clutch quarterbacks in football.
Talking about Luke?
Was he? Then why is he still low on the list?
Because he's not very physically talented.
No, that is not.
So he'll be a coach in like 3 years?
Pretty
like
much.
Kellen Moore.
I know Sawyer Robinson.
Sawyer Robertson's another one. Yeah,
he
he's
was
another
getting
project type.
Yeah, 6'4". I mean, look, honestly, if we're not taking Cole Payton, we're taking Taylen, right? We have to. What's his production? So he did. What was it? Oh, so
a lot of play time just for not a great team, and his pressure grade is awful. We're used to that.
He did get benched this past year as well, but you do look at that team. He wasn't playing well. They had head coaching issues. Bobby Petrino, I believe, was their interim head coach at one point, which
most
is
drafted
interim
by the Steelers, Dolphins,
coach.
and Cowboys.
Yep. All right. So before we make that pick, here's who's still available. Andre Fuller, who would be a nice kind of late round pick, but we have 2 cornerbacks. Did we take a tight end? I don't think we did, right?
No, we did not.
I'm good on Devontae Jackson. I have seen him.
Yep.
For those listening, that means Taylor's out on him.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, good as in bad.
Good as in bad, yeah.
So yeah, there's not really anything.
Klein. Oh no, that's not Marlon Klein. I thought it was.
No, there's really not much here, fellas, that I'm too thrilled about, and so I'm with you guys.
Man, I think you just go.
Let's just take Taylen Green. What did he run? What was it? 40? That was wild. Was it like
4.32 or something?
4.3 something like that.
Yeah. Look that up as well.
Like a high 4.3 at 6'6". Right. I mean, if anything else, he can be our kick returner. Are we good taking Taylen as a project?
Yeah,
I think so.
All right. And there you go. There's our draft, ladies and gentlemen.
4-6.
So I think the only time we really even considered a trade here was at pick 11. And obviously that's the only time we really should, because these other picks, it's hard to assess what's going to be going on there. I know Keelan Rutledge got taken 2 picks before us there. And what was that, the 2nd or 3rd round? So that may be an interesting place to trade up a few spots if he's still on the board. I'm pretty happy with how this fell overall. And the wide receiver at pick 11 is not something we've done before. So it was interesting to get that, see how the draft fell when you take a receiver at 11. I'm pretty happy with how it fell, though. What do you?
I'll be honest with you. If this is how the draft fell, I'd be elated. Carnell Tate's one of my favorite players in this entire draft, and the only reason I haven't talked a lot about him is because I doubt he falls to 11. But in the crazy scenario, crazy world that he does, the fact that you get a 6'3" wide receiver who's an instant wide receiver 1 with Jefferson type levels of ceilings, and I'm not saying he'll be Jefferson, but I'm just saying like his ceiling is that type of wide receiver production is awesome paired with Waddle. I really like this. I mean, obviously I have my quote unquote fan favorites, my personal favorite players. We didn't get any of them because they were taken before us. Those people being Pons, who we had an option to take, but understood why we went edge. Rodriguez, one of any of the top 2 safeties. Kind of those are like if we could land one. The Stallion himself, Dunker, the sweet Prince Dunker with his beautiful flowing mullet.
We didn't manage to get Bud Clark this time either. Somebody we've drafted a lot in our mock drafts. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, Taylor, what are your thoughts on this draft? If this is reality and this is how it ended, what are your thoughts?
I'm very surprised at how it fell in the 1st round, and I think it just kind of shows like how wild this draft could get past pick number 1. Who knows what the Jets take at too? Could be Sonny Styles. He could be number 2 pick. Hell, they could go Carnell Tate.
Yeah,
number 2.
That would be such a Jets move.
So it could really go anywhere. I was fully expecting to be sitting at 11, and we're over here debating Dylan Thieneman or Mansur Delan at 11.
Which would have been a very interesting outcome, what we would have ended up at, if I'm being honest, because I love both of those.
But you look at what the Dolphins get in this mock here. Yeah, you get a wide receiver. It's not the most pressing need, but
I disagree.
We were talking about who is the best player on the board at the time. And that's what Tate was. Our Mason Thomas, maybe it wasn't the best overall player on the board, but you steer a little towards position of need, still get a high player. Same thing with Kyle Lewis, Devin Moore, Jake Slaughter, so on and so forth. So I thought it was pretty good all the way around, despite it not being an ideal draft for how it fell for us.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony?
I think that this is the perfect type of mock draft to have. You know, if you're consistently mock drafting and you're getting the same players over and over again, and the draft's falling the same way over and over again, that doesn't exist in reality. Like the draft every year, every mock draft ever done goes out the window by the 4th pick, right? Yeah. I mean, like NFL teams just evaluate these guys so differently. So by pick 11, who knows who's going to be there? Tate could very well be there. Sonny Styles could be there. Like Styles largely was being picked around our pick before the combine. So I think this
and don't forget, I still have the bong the face bong video that
we're gonna get
Sonny
that
Styles.
Oh yeah, you gotta send that out
day before the draft. Yep.
Honestly, I'm super pumped. I think I really went Chris Greer here. I went like the super athleticism with R. Mason Thomas, and then we'll go and grab Kyle
Thompson.
Go and grab Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh, which he's huge. We haven't managed to get him yet, and he's one of my favorite players in this draft. So I'm pretty pumped with this one.
Yeah, and I do think pick 87 and pick 111 I think are absolute steals in this draft. And Devin Moore.
I didn't think Wheatley would be there.
No, I don't think he will be. Right, I'd be surprised if Wheatley was there at 90 in real life, but this is how the board fell. Right, so
we were also surprised Shedeur Sanders was there in the 5th round last year. So things happen.
Some of us were. Happen. I mean, look, I think hell of a draft. Right, hell of a draft.
All right, we do have a few. We're probably going to have a few more mock drafts coming up. We haven't really planned out what our draft content's going to look like yet, but I can't imagine we're going to go all the way to draft week without having another mock draft. It's still quite a few weeks away, over a month away, actually. April 23rd, I believe, is the date of the first round. We will be live for the first round. We'll also be doing a live mock draft that week. Taylor may or may not join us. We'll see. We have to figure out what his schedule is, too. But Taylor, thank you so much for joining us, dude. It was so good to have you. Felt like the good old days back in the Fins forecast there.
Yeah, loved having you, buddy.
It was great talking with you guys again. Doing a mock draft, like it does feel like the Fins forecast.
It does. It's very nostalgic, and hopefully we can have you back, man. We, I know we talked about it briefly, but whether it's right before the draft, like Anthony said, or maybe if you're able to join us for round 1, well, you can join the live show a little bit, and you don't have to stay the whole time if you don't want to. But it would be really great to have you.
Oh, you guys just hit me up. I'm down to join anytime.
Down to clown, Taylor. There he is.
Before we sign off, we have to mention 163 subs. That's you guys. Thank you so much. Bills Mafia, too. Like, shout out to you all. You all really showed up on our last round of shorts. We had a short about the DJ Moore signing, and the Bills fans were all over that thing. So thanks, guys. I think a few of you actually subscribed, which is crazy to have a Bills fan subscribe to a Dolphins podcast. If we're
you know what?
honest.
They're showing us the love because they appreciate our realism and our honesty.
I'll take it. Also, don't forget about the 305gridiron.com. You can find this mock draft right on that website shortly after the video goes live. So just go to the 305gridiron.com and click the mock drafts button in the top header bar there. And there you'll find our 3 mock drafts that we've done so far. Plenty more to come. This was such a fun exercise, fellas. Thanks so much for doing this. And hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Sounds good. Taylor, thanks for joining, buddy.
No problem.
All right, boys, for the 305 Gridiron. This is Aqua Ace above me this time, a.k.a. Josh Delusional Fin Fan is over here. Oh, my gosh, a.k.a. Taylor. I'm Anthony Pinzone. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, fins up, baby.